just mic'd up with Mikie Mahtook. Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up, but he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground, I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there, he's punching me in the stomach, like, punching me.
Here, is everyone sitting around? Who here thinks Ochenko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad Jones. 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochenko can practice today. And I was like, I look back, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You were more fucked up than me.
On the Spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
you heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Good show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you going to bring your chinchilla and your turtle?
My dad tell you about it.
The SEC is, God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Players. Look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now. Hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Wednesday, October 2nd. Big show for you today. It's Wednesday. It's the bye week of LSU football. A lot of talk, a lot of conversation about what next week's going to look like. There's a huge, beautiful slate of baseball, football and baseball, actually. Football games this weekend. Baseball is going on right now. It's the best time of the year, October. Playoff baseball, weather gets nice and crispy. You can stay outside. Mosquitoes really aren't biting you as much. It's nice, not humid, and you get to watch Major League Baseball playoffs are going on right now during the middle of the week. And you got football starts on Thursday, then you got football on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then boom, baseball again. Right? Beautiful, beautiful month of sports. Nothing like playoff baseball. Playoff baseball has started with a bang. The Detroit Tigers, the baby Tigers. They don't have a guy on the team older than 28 years old, and they just go into Houston and take the first 2 games of the wild card series against Houston, knock them out. Houston was going for their 8th straight ALCS appearance. That is not going to be the case. The Tigers come out there and win, and both games were very, very competitive. I think the Tigers won by 1 run yesterday. Today they were down 1, ended up they were up 1, ended up giving up the lead in the 8th, and ended up scoring 4 runs in the top of the 8th inning, and top of the 8th inning, I believe. Ended up closing the game out, wins the game, ends the series. AJ Hinch, if you remember that name, he used to be the manager for the Astros when they won the World Series, and all the stuff was happening over there in Houston. He is now the manager in Detroit. He is doing the same things, well, not cheating, but he's doing the same things he did in Houston, in Detroit, bringing them up to being winners, bringing them back in the playoffs. Playoff baseball in Detroit is very, very, very fun and very exciting. It's nice to have that back. They're going to get home playoff baseball in Detroit now since they move on to the ALDS. So congratulations to them. Baltimore and Kansas City going on right now. 2-1 game with Kansas City winning in the bottom of the 7th inning. Obviously, Baltimore is an extremely talented young team as well. A lot of really, really cool teams in the playoffs. It's kind of wide open, right? There's not really a favorite. Some people can say the Dodgers are favorites or the Yankees are favorites, but I don't think really there's not one overwhelming team that like, damn, this team is going to win. The Phillies could be a favorite. A lot of really good teams, a lot of really young talent in the postseason. So sit back, enjoy that, and allow that to kind of get you to.
You got 0 100-game winners in the big leagues this year. I think that's a great
That's crazy.
Indication of what kind of parity you got in the league this year, and kind of probably a precursor to what kind of playoff system or playoffs you'll get, if you will.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be competitive. People who aren't baseball fans are going to become baseball fans for at least a month.
Yeah.
And enjoy. Some guys are going to become household names because of their performances in the postseason. I think that's what makes this really fun. I mean, nobody knows this guy's Anthony Santander. He's hit 40-plus home runs this year. Nobody even knows who he is. So
tied for third most ever by a switch hitter, I believe. Yeah. Chipper and somebody else in front of him.
Yeah, he's the second most in Orioles history behind Anderson, their center fielder, the one guy who just popped 50 that one year.
Brady?
Yeah, all on the sauce. The most sauce.
He was.
He was on the
what a turnaround.
All of a sudden, this guy is a good outfielder, solid hitter. All of a sudden, 50 burger. Whoa. Okay, something.
Close to 60.
Then his head exploded, body exploded. Like, okay, this guy is on some serious sauce.
Was it Brady Anderson?
Brady Anderson.
Yeah.
Or is it Grady?
Brady.
Brady. It's Brady Anderson.
Brady.
That's right.
He went okay, this is unbelievable. I'm sure people do know this, but starts in 1 home run in 2002, 2001, 8 home runs, 2019, 1999, 24, 1998, 18, 1997, 18. I'll leave out 1996 for now. 1995, 16, 1994, 12. Then let's go to 1996.
So he had 1 year with 20-plus homers, right? 24, right?
1 year with over 20, and he had 2 in his entire career until 1996, where he hit 50. Steroids are awesome.
50 and then got off of it.
Yeah. Like,
I see 1 year.
Get paid.
Let me get my money. Let me get off of it. And let me just now I'll be solid. Back to my solid.
Oh my God!
Still working in baseball too, baby.
He's a strength coach, isn't he?
I don't know. I know for a while he was he was a special assistant to Baltimore for a while. I don't know where.
And he would work out on the field with his.
No, he's still big. Yeah.
He's still shredded.
Yeah.
Well,
post-shred
residuals. Now I don't get tested.
Still got it in there.
I don't get tested no more.
If I know how to do one thing, Brady Anderson knew how to do steroids.
No doubt.
1 year, and I was like, all right, I'm out of here.
No.
I wonder what his contract was after that year.
Can you find that?
I can't.
Bad boy.
Yeah, I'll own it now.
Yeah. Thanks. LSU baseball. If you didn't know, they're still kind of.
He said he had a broken rib in '97. That's why the power went down.
What happened
of the year.
What happened to that the next year's?
It was outage.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Injury plagued in '98.
Yeah.
Steroids will do that too.
But that's the side effect of steroids. That's what happens. Speaking of baseball, LSU baseball they snuck in a commit this week. What's today?
Paul on campus today or this week?
Maneric?
No.
Paul Skeens. Yeah, he's there. He's back in town.
It's Libby's birthday.
Season's over. Flew back in. He's back.
Yeah.
You're gonna see him at some football games. Walking around.
Last time we saw him at a football game, he knows what to do there.
They're gonna look. I think he's gonna be in the suites.
Yeah, we're on the field.
In the suites now. But he'll be at the football games. He's back in town. Obviously, their season's over with. Hopefully, he's going to add more hardware to his mantle.
I'll be damned if you don't, guys.
No doubt.
Not hopefully, he better.
He's already won Baseball America's Rookie of the Year. I'd imagine he's going to win Major League Baseball's Rookie of the Year, and
got to get them writers.
Much deserved.
Got to get them writers to go ahead and give the love.
And look, it'd be great for the Pirates if he wins it, because the Pirates. If he wins Rookie of the Year, the Pirates get incentivized by gaining a compensation pick. I believe that is the new rules in the CBA. So everybody wins on this. It makes them it entices them more to bring up younger guys earlier so that if they are good enough to do that, they get rewarded. If they start off slow and they don't play as well as they want them to, they can always option them back down and get them more development, similar to what they did with Jackson Holiday out there in Baltimore. So he's back.
Is he on the playoff roster, by the way?
I believe so.
He's going through,
He's going through
a swing change.
See, can we correct that terminology? It's not a swing change if you are not changing your swing, you're just changing your loading mechanism. That's not a swing change, that's a swing adjustment, I would consider that. He had a big leg kick, right? Leg up, swing, boom. Now he's doing a toe tap.
Gotta imagine him and dad and brother are gonna go back to the lab that's connected basically to his house the whole.
Well, his other brother's about to get drafted first overall too.
I'm imagining that right now. Dad probably told him, "Hey, just adhere to whatever is being said. We'll work this offseason."
Yeah,
I just gotta imagine that.
But go ahead and win some playoff games, get the bigger playoff share. Let's have some fun, and then we'll work on in the offseason. So, great to have a family like that. Great to have a dad like that. He's going to be living, obviously, working out at Oklahoma State, I would imagine, because his dad's a coach there. And his uncle. His uncle's a coach. His dad was a hitting coach there, wasn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So, obviously, family affair over there. But the LSU commit, the baseball commit that LSU got, right-handed pitcher from Oregon, his name is River Hamilton. He mid-90s fastball. He's a 53rd overall Major League Baseball prospect, according to Baseball America. So, big get for Jay and the Tigers. Obviously, he never sleeps. He never stops recruiting. And in the midst of football season, in the midst of playoff baseball, sneaks in a nice little baseball recruit to add to
always working
the recruiting class for next year. Huge recruiting class they had coming in this year. Obviously, they're getting fall started right now. We're going to have some updates as that goes. Hopefully, get some guys in here to have some conversations about what their adjustments are like since they got to LSU. Tomorrow is Thursday night, so there will be some Thursday night NFL football. Tampa Bay at Atlanta. If you listen to the names of it, it's not like, oh, this is really enticing game to watch. But in the division, obviously the Saints started 2-0, now they're 2-2. Big game between these two teams in the division, so that Saints don't fall too far away from the top of the division. Speaking of the Saints, they've been in conversations. There's been some rumors out there. There's a guy out there in Los Angeles playing for the Raiders.
He's not in Los Angeles, coach.
Stop doing that with the baseball.
Las Vegas.
He's a little bit further
Las Vegas.
East, if you will.
Las Vegas, playing for the Raiders. And he has asked for a trade. And the Raiders have said that they are willing to trade him. Now, according to Devontae, he's got two teams that that are the front runners, the teams that he would like to be at. One, the New York Jets, because he has obviously played with Aaron Rodgers for a really long time. Would love to reunite with that guy, with his guy, and kind of replicate some of the stuff they did in Green Bay. Second team is New Orleans Saints, because Derek Carr and him were college teammates. They are obviously teammates for the Raiders. And the receivers coach, apparently, and Devontae are like super tight. Receivers coach came out before the season and talked in interviews and said that Devontae is like a brother, like a son to him. And Devontae has talked about how close that relationship is. So there are some ties there. I don't know if that's going to happen. It doesn't matter where Devontae wants to go, because he doesn't make the decision on who trades him. It's all about the package they get back to trade Devontae. So if he comes to the Saints, I think that would be a huge get, obviously. That just kind of, you have Olave, Devontae, and Shaheed. That's a pretty good receiving core. Then you mix in Taysom whenever you need to, and then you have Alvin, obviously. So interesting to see. I think the trade deadline is right after the end of the month. October, Halloween maybe, is the trade deadline. End of October, early November. So we'll see what happens between now and then. But until then, let the rumors begin.
Lots of rumors going to be flying in these next couple weeks. Every day that he misses, every game that he misses, every day the hamstring is still not having him out on the field, it's that noise is going to get loud, and I'm here for every bit of it. I think it's going to be impressive.
Yeah, we were watching the after the Rashee Rice thing happened. I was watching it with Tyler Leday, and he was like, "Chiefs, watch out for Devontae Adams going to the Chiefs."
That's where I think he's going to go to.
Because it just made so much sense at the time. Where like he's not only a contender, he wants to play good football again, and I understand the connection to Derek Carr must be cooler than I think because it's the second time Devontae Adams has wanted to play with him. And first time they did it, then they shipped Carr out of town, and he was stuck in Las Vegas with no quarterback.
Yeah.
And obviously he got the big contract and still can play. He's, 32, though?
31, 32.
31,
somewhere in that
32
area,
with
yeah.
2 years left on his deal. And if the Saints are going to do this, it would be you have to negotiate some sort of deal to where you can restructure the contract and figure it out because that's where the Saints can get him under the cap. They have enough resources to do it. Just a matter of, do you want to try to continue to win now? Because if you do, you're giving up assets that would help for a rebuild in the future.
Let me ask you this. Could you, and nobody in this room may know this answer, but can you trade for him and then restructure his deal when you get him, mid-season, and turn it into like a signing bonus where it doesn't really...
You would do that during the trade with you would.
That's what I mean. Like
they'd
have to
offset
restructure
some
it over
money
there
with the Raiders and be like, this is because you would just re-sign him essentially, and so it wouldn't be that same contract. You'd be like, all right, you're on a 2-year deal. Let's restructure it. Like
to give you more of a signing bonus, 1-year deal, basically.
Here's the one thing we don't think about though, y'all bring up the Chiefs. There's obviously the Steelers who were in this conversation of trying to get Brandon Ayuk. So you got to imagine they've at least or will be picking up the phone and calling. I think about the Jets, and everybody thinks about the obvious reason because of who? Because of Aaron Rodgers, right? But I also think about this. They also have one more ace in the hole in the sense of there's one player that they've been trying to sign that they haven't signed who's still not on the field for them, but they have his rights right now. Hassan Reddick. Do you add him in the trade and now you don't have to give up as much? So I think, like, when it comes to the Saints, it sounds great, but like you said, he doesn't have a no-trade clause. Even though he probably wants to play with Derek Carr again, or at least that's the word, the rumor that's going out there. It'd be hard for me to believe he'll find his way to New Orleans because of all these things.
So you think the Jets will trade Reddick?
I mean, if we can't get him on the field, we can't get him in the building, we can't get him signed, how about we put him in the trade, send them off to them. They can go ahead and pair Christian Wilkins and Max Crosby and Hassan Reddick on that defensive line. Obviously, that's a win for them, right?
Sounds like Antonio Pierce's team.
Get him out. It sounds like a great move for them. And then obviously, you'd be pairing them back with. But here's the caveat to it all is, like we talked about, the trade package for the Raiders has to be the most enticing thing that it is, because you got to imagine if there is any kind of sour shit going on, they're not really looking to please Devontae Adams, if you will. So it's gonna be a messy one until that trade deadline comes.
There's gonna be a lot of rumors. There's gonna be a lot of conversations. Look, I would love for him to get to New Orleans, even watching him play for the Jets, because when him and Aaron Rodgers played together, it was fun to watch. Problem with going to the Jets is you got to make sure Aaron Rodgers stays upright, right? Aaron Rodgers has been getting hit. I mean, he was on McAfee today talking about he's got swollen knees, banged up, all these types of things, tough game in the rain, all this kind of stuff. And that's all great when you can have him, you can have Garrett Wilson, you can have Lazard, you can have all these guys that he trusts throwing the ball to, Breece Hall. If he can't stay up on his feet and he's getting touched and he's getting sacked and hit and knocked down, I don't know how much that's going to help bringing him over there. But
I can tell you this, what will help, though, is somebody that you're so lock and key with, and so that maybe you're just getting rid of the ball that much quicker.
No doubt. That too.
Might help it, too. So
that too.
I mean, there's reason to believe that they are strong contenders if there's actually going to be a move that's made here. So.
Yeah. I forgot to mention in the Heineken headlines is Ask Mikey and Mitch Wednesday, too. So if you got questions, throw them in the chat. We're ready for all the conversations. I don't care how goofy you want to get today. It's one of those days. Look, bye week. Bye week, you're supposed to get a little break, a little time off. You're supposed to rest. No. Not Brian Kelly's teams. Not this year, and I completely agree with him. This team, he said, we got a lot of developing left to do. We can't just sit here and expect that we can take this week off. We got a lot to work on. You work hard. You do the things we need to do. Next week, I'll give you a little bit of a break going into Ole Miss. I agree with that strategy. I think that is a strategy. You earn the time off. I don't think they've earned it. I think they've gotten better, and they're continuing to get better. And I think Garrett Nussmeier said it today. He said our best football is ahead of us, and I believe in that. But you have to continue to work. Can't let up. You felt like you finally made some progress last week against South Alabama. Got to keep that momentum rolling. And get the guys healthy that you need to get healthy. Brian Kelly's not going to talk much about injuries this week because it's a bye week. You don't have to talk about it. You're not preparing for anybody. You don't have to bring out an injury report. this week because you ain't got no game.
I think it's a very smart decision, man. You could say what you want about who they played and the quality of the opponent and all that nonsense.
Top 30 schedule so far.
Simple fact of the matter is South Alabama last week, that was the most complete game that they've played, you would imagine, and I think it's a great move to try to keep that momentum and everything that you got going and that feel going through the week that is your bye week, to your ability to kind of not just kind of rest on your laurels and kind of get healthy. Obviously, health is the most important thing, but to be able to keep that intensity, to be able to keep that groove, to be able to keep that feeling going, because you are now about to hit the part of the schedule where it's unforgiving and it's going to tell the tape of what you did throughout the rest of the year. Because if you mess around and lose 2 or 3 of these games, it's going to look like a bad year. You mess around and get on a winning streak, you'll find yourself in the playoffs. And that's where you're sitting at right now.
And here is Brian Kelly talking about the injury report that he doesn't have to make in regard to Caden Durham.
Caden Durham, do you have any update on his injury?
Yeah, he's doing great. 100%, 1,000
Million.
He's doing chin-ups right now.
It happened when the lineman fell on him after the second touchdown.
Yes.
Is that what you saw?
Yes, yep. Those linemen are so agile. Yep. You're not going to get much from me on injuries this week. This is a bye week, so you may not go down that road this week. Unless you guys want to hang out at Our Lady of the Lakes and stay in front of the MRI machine or whatever you guys do. You guys can hang out there.
I think that BK is coming into his own here.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's very comfortable. And look, there's no reason for him to bring up there's no reason to give any detail on that. Like, there's no responsibility to do that. Let's get these guys right, get them healthy. I firmly believe that Caden Durham is going to be all right. Like, I don't think it's a super serious injury. I think they're going to take it slow for this week, give him some time, but I think that he's going to be. Look, it's not for him. It's not physical development that he needs right now, right? It's more about understanding what he's trying to do in the scheme of the offense, and you can get that work in without being on the field.
Yeah, I mean, he's one you would love to be a full participant in everything you got going on this week, but I'm sure they're putting a plan in place to, one, get him as healthy as they need him to be, but two, keep at least keep his mind sharp and keep everything going to where he can kind of hit the ground running if he's not able to do much physically this week. If it makes more sense, I shouldn't say if he's not able to do much. If it makes more sense to have him not doing as much physically this week, this is an important week for him this week. So it's, I would imagine they're trying to do everything that they can, and there's a plan in place to have him at the top of his game when it comes to next Saturday night.
No doubt.
Death Valley.
I hear a lot of people talking about y'all keep talking about South Alabama. It's not like they played some really good team. Well, everybody was worried about how they played against Nicholls. So you can't get mad about you play bad against a team that you should dominate and then say, just dismiss the team that you dominate that you should dominate, right? I think South Alabama is better than Nicholls, especially offensively. I think they're more diverse. I think they're more explosive offensively. Obviously, Nicholls they moved the ball on the ground and had some big plays. Guggenheim ran the ball, 80-yard run. But the way that LSU played against South Alabama, I think that is very encouraging. They didn't give up a lot of rushing yards at all. They didn't give up a ton of big plays, and they only give up 10 points. And so, to me, I think that matters. Right? I don't care who the talent is. If you look at the strength of schedule up to this point, LSU has played a top 30 strength of schedule up to this point in the season. That's really good compared to some of the other teams in the conference, right? Compared to Ole Miss, their strength of schedule is probably.
I mean, we found out what the strength of schedule did to them. Obviously,
yeah.
Let's tell the truth of it. They absolutely dog walked everybody they played until they played a conference game, and I don't think they scored 20 points in that game. Correct? I think it was 17.
It was 20-17.
17 on the board. So, we could sit here and say strength of schedule this, strength of schedule that. We have a loss already this, we have a loss already that. The point is to get to this point of the season when you get to October to start playing quality ball and to be a building, ascending ball club. That's what a lot of these LSU teams have done in the past. And then you get to the Armageddon game, you get to the Alabama game, and it's usually a make and or break of your season. That game this year, if you go into it on a winning streak right now, in the sense that you don't lose another game, it won't be make or break at all this year. Right? Like, you'll have 2 losses if you end up losing that game. And let's say you don't even go to the SEC championship, you will be a playoff team. It is a different outlook of what we've seen as far as for the schedule and what this LSU team is and how they've played here over the last couple of years. This has to be an exciting time for that team. And if you're looking at it correctly on the outside looking in, you need to be just as excited.
Right. 100%.
I'm looking at the playoff predictions now.
Well, they're not in them.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Because that's where I do think people get, and Jared's right, but I do think that people forget that there's a group of 4 spot a group of 5 spot that has to be filled, and then it goes by conference champion, and then Notre Dame is probably going to be able to grab a spot. The highest they can be ranked is 5th, and everybody kind of, if you're not 1 through 4, the 5th spot is a great spot to
Notre Dame has a bad loss.
They do, but they have inserted themselves into this conversation because they can't win their conference.
Who else do they have to play?
Notre Dame's schedule
They play
is
USC.
light. Yeah, that's the last one.
Yeah.
Is that the last one they play that's like...
But, and here's the thing, too. Like, even if they went
they play Navy.
Yeah. That's it. I think we take Navy.
Let's go, Navy.
Is that this week?
No, 3
next
weeks.
Because this week Navy plays the undefeated Air Force team.
You're right.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge.
Hey, Navy's on a roll right now.
Yeah. No doubt.
Do it for your country.
If Navy's undefeated, I'm taking Navy. Not money line.
That's a good one on the schedule. I ain't gonna lie, that's a good one for them.
Snucko, and they have Army.
But if they're able to get through and get to the USC game and they show well in the USC game, there's a very strong chance they're going to be voted into that 12 somewhere in that 1 through 12 spot.
Yeah.
So you can it will be. I would be shocked, not shocked, but I'd be surprised if they don't make it into a playoff situation.
Yeah, the thing that might hurt them the most is having Notre Dame Notre Dame versus USC is the last game of their schedule. They don't have a conference game. They don't have a conference championship.
And you lose the USC when you try, and you have a UNI loss.
Well, that's what I said. Like, if they show well, so if USC keeps doing what they're doing and they get into that spot, and then let's say that's a good game, that's a 7-point game, it's a 6-point game, or it's a overtime game. It's hard to sit here and say they're out. They're completely out wherever they're at that point.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's a shame. Because they had a pretty easy schedule.
Who?
Notre Dame.
Yeah, I think that's a
light
shame. Statement.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that they get in. They sneak in. Like if they have 2 losses and they're in there, like that's not. Well, you want them in there?
No, I don't at all.
That's why I said it's a shame.
Yeah,
that they would get in, based off the schedule.
I thought you said it's a shame that they have. Never mind. You're right. I'm looking at the conference schedule for the Big Ten and the B1G, just to see who's going to, because if USC doesn't win their conference, I was just seeing who was ahead of them: Indiana, Michigan, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State.
Yeah, that look, the Big Ten. The Big Ten has turned into a like before the year started. I thought USC was probably like had a really good chance. They still do have a good chance, but like Penn State's a little bit better than I thought. Do they even play Penn State this year? And I'm asking you to do. I don't think they do though. They played Michigan. They beat Michigan. They don't play Ohio State. I don't know if they play Oregon.
They played Penn State October 12th. That's the big day.
Yeah, they don't play Oregon or Ohio State, right?
Nope.
Yep, that's it. Okay, so they played Penn State.
Yeah, their draw was Michigan, Wisconsin, Penn State, I guess would be their hard game.
And no Indiana.
No Indiana, but they do have Nebraska on the schedule, who is feisty.
Yep, feisty.
Indiana's a sneaky one for the Big Ten in the sense of what they're doing. They're not the ones you want on the schedule right now if you're in the Big Ten.
No doubt. I don't know if I'm sold on Ohio State either.
We don't know.
We don't know.
There's another team we still just don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
I'm sold in a sense of I gotta feel like they're gonna be less than a 2. They won't have more than 2 losses. For me, it's just hard to see that they're going to have more than 2 losses. And with the roster that they have, I think they're in. But we still don't know how good they are. We just don't know what they got. They haven't done it. They haven't played anybody. And for me at this point in the year, everything we've seen from them is pretty much everything we've seen from Ole Miss, where we just don't – they haven't played anybody that's comparable yet. Anybody that's up to their competition level where you're saying, okay, I got a good idea what this team is and what they do and what they don't do.
Our guys at UNLV got a big test this weekend.
Who they got this
They got the Kyle McCords.
weekend?
Syracuse.
The real Kyle McCords.
Yeah. UNLV 4-0.
I didn't even know which one he played for. I'm still confused.
I'm not betting on anybody in Orange for the rest of the year.
Oh no, Air Force not undefeated. I thought Air Force was undefeated. They're not undefeated. They're 1-3.
I thought they were undefeated.
No, Navy's undefeated. This says Air Force is 1-3.
Maybe it's Army that's undefeated.
Maybe. It's
Yeah,
Army.
that's one. That's what we were
think it
talking
is.
about.
Army's undefeated.
Yeah,
4-0.
yeah.
That's right. Army's undefeated. Big game in the SEC this weekend is Missouri, or one of them is Missouri and.
Three pretty good ones, not bangers, but three pretty good ones.
Missouri A&M is a pretty good one. I think I would. Yeah, that's borderline banger.
Yeah.
Borderline. But there is one specific game that I was looking for that I forgot that I was like, oh, that's South Carolina Ole Miss. Boy. People love South Carolina. Ole Miss is favored by 9.5 right now. What do we feel about that game? I'm not saying betting as far as betting it goes, but like just what do we think we're going to see in that? Because Ole Miss did not have a good showing last weekend against a defense that's similar to South Carolina, a team that is defensive oriented, going to kind of control the clock, keep the ball. South Carolina is similar. They're not going to throw the ball over the field, but they have a quarterback who's going to run and scramble, get first downs, hopefully keep the ball, milk the clock, do the things they need to do.
Sanders.
They scored against LSU. Obviously, LSU's defense isn't
World beaters.
I think we're going to see a somewhat pretty tightly contested ball game. I think Ole Miss wins, and I think it's in a decently convincing fashion, but a tightly contested ball game. And I think LSU Ole Miss ends up being one of the top 3 picks of where College Game Day is next week, but it's not going to be here.
Yeah,
that's what I think.
So you think they cover 9.5?
No. Who?
Ole Miss.
Yeah, I do.
You think that too?
I do.
I do too.
I think it's the trendy pick right now because of what you just saw. And
no doubt.
Styles make fights, and these are two teams that, when you look at South Carolina and look at Kentucky, it's like, oh, they kind of play a similar.
Yeah, I think that's a rat line. Honestly, like
yeah.
if you didn't watch it closely and you don't know anything about it, and you just picked it up and said, "Oh,
Ole Miss just lost."
Ole Miss just lost to Kentucky.
And South Carolina beat
South
Kentucky.
Carolina blew out Kentucky, and it was at Kentucky. Oh yeah, give me that.
Yeah,
sucker.
The only thing I agree with you. I think I'm not going to bet them because I did last week and they screwed me. But I think the difference between South Carolina and Kentucky is South Carolina has the opportunity or has the chance to. They get after the quarterback a little bit better than Kentucky, and they have a chance to kind of wreck the game that way, right? Jackson Dart kind of trying to roll around, try to scramble, extend the play, and then who's the is it Kennard? No, who's the defensive end for South Carolina?
Kennard.
No, Dylan. What's his last name?
It's not really K, I thought.
No, that's the transfer. The Dylan kid is the freshman kid. I forget his last name.
Anyway, either way, either one of those defensive ends is liable to come off the edge, chase them down, strip sack, fumble, kind of direct the game.
Dylan Stewart.
Dylan Stewart. That's what it is. So I think it's going to be a good game, but I'm with you. I think that Ole Miss is going to. It's going to be tightly contested, and then they pull away towards the end.
Yeah, I think they learned a lot about themselves in that Kentucky game, whether it be good or bad. But I don't think you're going to be, because that was a game that was at home, and now you're going on the road to South Carolina where they are off a bye. Like all of it sets up to be that upset maybe again. But I just think after what happened to Ole Miss against Kentucky, it feels like they're going to be kind of dialed back in to where you're playing for your season now.
Yeah.
You can't fake desperate, as Ron Russillo and Scott Van Pelt used to say.
Can't fake it.
Another game on here on this list.
Oh, again, keep going.
Go ahead.
The one that intrigues me a lot. Iowa.
That's what I was going to say.
That one intrigues me a lot.
I haven't seen a lot from Ohio State.
Me either. And Iowa, obviously, they're going to play some defense, and they're going to try to keep them out of the end zone. The money is on Iowa right now. 79%.
Is that the one you were going to say too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. 79% of the money is on Iowa. 64% of the bets are on Iowa too. But that one is just that one's kind of intriguing.
I guess it's a little bit. You could say this, but I would be surprised. But Iowa at Ohio State, look ahead spot as Ohio State goes to Oregon next week, the week after. That October 12th slate is
so
unbelievable.
Ohio State has an off week before they go to Oregon?
No. They play Iowa.
Oh, October 12th, next weekend. Yeah.
But I'm saying maybe that's why it's kind of like, then you have Nebraska after that. Like they're and then Penn State. This is the hardest part of Ohio State's schedule right now.
Yep.
And obviously in the season with Michigan. But they're not a threat.
But so you're getting a nice little warm-up to that October 12th weekend.
Yeah, it's a little primer.
Nice little BP.
I can't wait. Look, this is great. I think it's a great time for LSU to have an off week.
Oh, yeah.
Sit back, watch it, get a little hungrier to go play football.
Maybe the weather
next
changes
weekend.
even a little more.
Oh, listen to me. Have you not looked at the weather?
Sure didn't.
You haven't? You
I
want to
like
know
a-
about it?
I like a nice surprise.
Do you want to hear it? I'm going to let you know. It's going to make you very happy. It's going to make you very happy.
Let me know.
Because it made me very happy. Well, the internet's a little slow, so everybody's going to have to wait until
mid-October is like that time, man. That's where like it starts changing a little bit.
So,
I love right now waking up and it's still dark in the morning. I love that right now.
I feel like I'm doing something.
So
Yeah.
I feel accomplished.
So October 12th, night game, 6:30. The high, 88. Nothing like crazy. The low,
Talk to me.
61. 6:30. It's gonna be.
I like a
crisp.
nice little breeze in there.
You know that means there'll be no humidity.
Little
There's
bite
not
in the
one.
air.
There's not one raindrop on this weather channel.
Chop chop.
I am fired up about that.
The last couple nights I've left here and I've literally put the top back a little bit. So it's
Yeah.
getting around that time
Yeah.
where you're like, this, all right, this should feel good.
We're
again.
getting there.
Wake up in the morning, I'm like, it's not absolutely already 95 degrees when I walk to my car.
Yeah, it's great.
So we're getting there.
It's great. But 61
Perfect
is the low
timing.
on next weekend. That's a fun.
88's the high. That's during the day.
And look, it's not going to be very humid, I would imagine, if that's going to be the weather.
This is what you call whiskey drinking weather.
Mhm.
It's here.
No, yeah.
Nighttime, not during the day. But
Yeah,
at
we're
nighttime,
getting
whiskey
close.
feels fair.
We're getting close.
Get to 60, 65. You're like,
Love that. All right, well, let's just jump to the Ask Mikey and Mitch segment right now. Do we have any questions?
We do. We have them on Twitter. We have 2, 4, 6, 7 on Twitter.
2,
A
4,
couple
6,
that say,
8.
Who do you
Don't
appreciate?
Don't do it. Don't.
Ask Mikey. Ask Mikey. Ask Mikey and Mitch. So yeah, we can get to those, and there's a couple that came
Let's
in
do it.
through the
That'll
chat.
jumpstart some of these
Yeah,
conversations.
absolutely.
Our own Tiger droppings.
That's right. Which is done. You know, hey, got some topics off of there too. Ask Mikey and Mitch. This is from Twitter from Stephen Miller. After 5 games into the season and seeing all the other teams on the schedule, has your end of the year record prediction stayed the course, better or worse for LSU?
Did we even do it? Did we give a prediction?
I'm sure we have it.
I'm sure we have, but no, I'm literally in the same spot. I would have loved to have seen them be able to find a way to win that game 1 against USC, but I still see them sitting in that 2 to 3 loss range, and I think if they could stay at 2, you're almost definitely in. But just because of the way that they've been talked about so far this year, it's hard for me to think that if they get to 3, they're really going to be one of the ones in.
They have some ground. They have some
But
ground.
if they can get through this stretch of the schedule and through what is it, Thanksgiving at this point with 1 loss, yeah, I think they're right in the strike zone of where I thought they would be this year.
Yeah, I agree. I thought, like you said, I thought they had a real chance to go undefeated up until the Ole Miss game, right? I really did. I think that we all knew that.
Everybody did.
That USC game was the big one, right? You get through that, which we thought you could win.
And a sidebar too, just before you even go, like if they beat USC and Ole Miss doesn't lose, you're looking at a top 10 matchup next week. That's pretty much what it would have been, which would make 2 losses from here through Thanksgiving look a little bit different. I think 2 losses now is probably your spot, and it kind of, because I saw them before being like, hey, if they get to 1, maybe 2 losses, you're looking at a top 10 team, probably maybe even borderline top 5 team, probably like 7-6. I think you get 2 or more at this point, they're gonna find a way to make you that 11 through 15 spot right there, which is where you don't want to be.
Yeah, I think they're pretty spot on, right? Like I think that, we all knew this Ole Miss game was going to be a big one to kind of determine what their playoff
lives look like.
Yeah, like with the playoffs, if this is going to be realistic or not. Had they gone undefeated, obviously it have a little bit more leeway. But yeah, I think this is pretty much spot on to where I thought they were going to be. I think that I'm more confident them going into this Ole Miss game than I was 2 weeks ago. I think that you've seen some improvements. You've seen some of the things that you needed to see them get. They're not there yet, but you saw the running game. You saw some explosive plays in the running game. I don't care who it's against. They haven't done it against anybody yet. And then last week you see some of it. You saw some of it in the South Carolina game. And I think South Carolina is a lot better than people thought they were going to be. So I think that one, going on the road and finding a way to win that game, was a big thing. So, yeah, I think we're exactly where we thought we were going to be. And I agree with Nuss. I think their best football is ahead. If they get out of this game with a win, I think you can see this momentum train kind of going forward.
I think a lot of people may have hopped off the bandwagon after USC, and then
No doubt.
see how they played against Nichols and then UCLA, but certainly against South Carolina where it was doom and gloom everywhere, 17-0, folded up. But then they weren't dominant against Nichols. They weren't dominant against UCLA, where I think people expected them to be.
Yeah.
And so I think some people have probably lessened their expectations, but then you see the win over – you finally see the complete game that people have been wanting to see.
You want to know what's sad, too, is I think around here and of just the LSU fan base, if you will, if they go out and win this game in pretty much any fashion in 2 weeks, the LSU fan base will be here. If Ole Miss doesn't go out and dominate South Carolina, I still think the national narrative is the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really going to be that in on LSU at that point.
Right. I agree.
It's just –
there's a lot of ground you got to make up, and that's why you have to start playing really good football from here on out. And that's where you're at.
You just beat who's in front of you, and you start every week. You start getting
stacking
better.
wins.
That's it.
And that's what they've done.
That's what this league is, and that's what the schedule is. When you make this kind of schedule is if you do what you need to do, you'll be there at the back end of the year to where the body of work and the records are going to sit there and say, you can't deny this team, whether you really believe in them or not. And that's what you want out of this situation.
And that's where I think that a lot of people before the year looked at LSU's schedule and say this is the wrong way to do it, playing tough out-of-conference games, whether it be USC or UCLA. You saw what happens when you don't. And that was the test case for Ole Miss, where you haven't played anybody yet. You have a home game against a conference opponent, and you don't know what happens when you get punched in the mouth. Like LSU has at least been tested to where going into the Ole Miss game, you have a great feel for who the team is and who you can kind of count on. Ole Miss didn't know where to look when it got dark.
And here's what I'll ask too, because I think it's a great schedule for this team in the sense of I see it this way.
They moved on.
If it's this LSU team, if they go into the back half, like if they have a cake schedule at the beginning of the year where they started the year with what people believed of this team and what obviously people still think of this team, even though they're doing some pretty good things already this year. If you take 2 losses from October on, I think you're still sitting in the same spot. I think people are still going to look at them the same way they look at them right now. I think if they were going without this schedule, let's just say it was 3 cupcakes or 4 cupcakes to start the year, and your first real test is, all right, I never even said that. Let's say it was 3 cupcakes and you played maybe Vanderbilt, and your first real test is Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
October on, say you lose 2 games, I think a lot of people would still look at LSU how they're looking at them right now. But because of what USC is and what they've done and what they have a chance to do going forward, even though it was a loss, tightly contested ball game, if you go out and take care of this part of the schedule here, it's looked at a lot differently, I think, in my mind.
Yeah, I was watching the USC game versus Wisconsin going, you kind of need USC to win to continue.
I'm a USC fan.
Until you're not, because it might come down to you two for a playoff spot.
If they end up only having 1 loss,
or you just want them to win their conference.
Yeah, like if it ends up with them having 1 loss, I don't think it's going to come down. They're not going to pick one or the other. Both if they have 1 loss and we have 1 loss, we're both getting in, right?
If they go head to head.
But if they have 1 loss and we have 2 losses, they're already going to be in. So like if they run the table, they're in, right? Like no matter what. And so, yeah, I'm rooting for them to get in to do that. Now they go out and they get to the conference finals and the championship game, they lose. Now they're 2 losses. That's when it becomes a little bit of a bugaboo.
Yeah, because say what you want, LSU is still undefeated in the SEC.
They are.
They're right there.
They are.
God, that'll be a big conversation at the end of it.
And look, here's the deal. Like, Alabama beat Georgia. Georgia's got a hard schedule. This is probably Georgia's hardest schedule they've ever had.
Yeah, easily.
Right? So
with probably their most gettable team right now, too.
Right?
Mm-hmm. In recent memory,
right? And so LSU goes and let's say they beat Ole Miss, right? Now all of a sudden LSU puts themselves. They're at the top of the SEC with Alabama, right? Because Alabama's undefeated. They play Alabama. Let's say Alabama beats LSU, right? Then LSU technically only has 1 SEC loss, and they can fight their way. There's a chance that Alabama could beat them, and LSU could play Alabama in the SEC championship game, which is wild. That obviously has never happened because you've had SEC West. That used to be impossible to do.
Yep, it's very possible.
Crazy.
It's very much a thing.
And if you really want to put your brain in a pretzel, look at the SEC tie-breaking scenarios that
No.
are 12 deep and 13. The 13th one on the list is a coin flip. Ain't no such thing as curses.
Could you imagine the first year?
Yes,
the
I could.
The SEC gets this.
Yeah.
You get all the way down to the 13th in a coin flip.
Flip it. It's so silly. But
It's an
all
old
right,
coin. It's an old
it's an old coin.
Yeah.
That guy was trying to cheat.
Yeah, no doubt.
Ain't no such thing as curses. Ask him and him. Have y'all ever dislocated a toe or finger, and how long did it take you to return to playing? Just ask for a friend. No reason behind that question.
Yeah, definitely. My first year ever playing receiver position.
Who's the
End
quarterback?
of the year, Ole Miss week, Thursday practice, inside, out route, balls in the light, don't really see it. Hands up, go for it. Pinky finger didn't like what was going on. Pinky finger took a left turn inside the glove when I looked at it. Jamarcus Russell was the quarterback at the time, so yeah, ball came out a little hot.
Little hot.
Had a little sauce on it.
Good thing they hit you in the face.
Yeah, well, it wasn't at the face. It was at the hands. I knew where the hand. I just didn't know where the point was when I tried to get out there. But yeah, it happened to me. My first time ever playing receiver. I say first time. First year ever playing receiver. So I learned pretty quick that we're gonna go through these practices. Let's tape these knuckles.
Especially with Jamarcus back there.
Let's tape these knuckles. Let's get these knuckles right. Let's protect them at least until Sunday. Until Saturday when we get there.
I've never
You're just a name on that list. There's so many people. I'm sure that
he got a lot of dislocated.
A lot of broken
fingers.
fingers.
lot of
Dislocated
fingers.
and broken
Yeah.
fingers. I've never dislocated a toe or
Ow.
a finger.
I've dislocated this knuckle. I never fixed it, but beach
Yeah.
ball. Tried to go drink in one hand.
I've jammed a shit ton of fingers.
Yeah.
Never
I
dislocated
think
a
I
finger.
broke
though.
the knuckle. But
I
it's-
broke my hand.
it
Never
healed.
dislocated anything though. Knock on wood. Hope
Yeah,
that doesn't
well, I don't
happen.
know why you would do that now. I don't know how it could happen. But
Well, you know,
Ancient athlete.
ancient
yeah,
athletes.
that's true. Ask him and him from the Fonz. If you have leftover pizza, do you reheat the next
Ooh.
morning, eat cold? And have you ever ate it cold with ranch?
Well, I got a couple answers on this.
Okay.
Depends on.
The pen.
It depends on
Where it's from.
how I'm feeling.
Mhm.
Right? If I wake up and I'm like lazy that day, I'll eat it cold. And it depends on where it's from. If it's good pizza, good pizza, you can eat it cold. If it's like,
Middle of the road.
yeah, heat it up, but you don't heat it up in the microwave. You put the oven on, you heat up in the oven, and you let it get, because the microwave gets soggy. Oven, you still get the crisp on it.
Do you
Everybody likes to put a face down on the. I've heard face down on a pan, on like a skillet.
Yeah, not face down. Just crush that down.
I heard face down.
Oh, the cheese will get stuck.
What's
to
it?
it.
That's not. I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that on like a.
As somebody who does do that, I put it. So here's how it goes. You go skillet, pizza in the skillet, in the oven for a little bit,
And it's still in the skillet.
in the skillet, top
Okay.
one,
Wow.
and then pull it out. Have your little, whatever, burner on. Then you put it on the burner, get the bottom cooked, and now you have delicious pizza. That
Okay,
tastes
I've never
like it's
done.
from
That's a lot of
restaurant.
work.
That's a lot of work, man. I'm gonna be honest with
Yeah,
you, man.
but I mean, if it's good.
if I'm buying a pizza, I'm obviously going for something I feel like is really good. But here's the thing, I want it good enough to where the next day,
Yeah, I have to have it the next day.
listen. The only time I'm probably gonna eat cold pizza would be like, let's say if I ate lunch that day and it was pizza for some reason. I'm coming home late at night, and it's just
2
out
slices
still, and
down.
I'm just like, I'll throw it in. I'll do it then. But if it's gonna be next day, it's going in the refrigerator. If it's coming out of the refrigerator, I'm going for convenience. That shit's going in the microwave. And I'm
Okay, so
I'm
microwave.
just
So
telling
microwave.
you.
That's
It's
how you
going
heat
in
it
the
up.
microwave.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all fine. It's pizza, dude. It's never
I hadn't had
bad.
pizza in a minute,
Me
though.
either. Ask him and him. Do y'all think like I do, and that playing USA last week will actually help us in the fact of them running kind of the same style of offense as Ole Miss?
Style, yeah. If they do stylistically, if they do some of the same things, yeah, that'll 100% help you. But I think more so than what style, I think is what they were able to see is that efficiently or efficiency-wise, if you will, throughout the year, that South Alabama team's been good, man. They've run the ball. They got more rushing touchdowns than they do passing. They throw the ball well. Like, they've done those things. So that team believes in their system and what they do, right? And they felt like they can do it against everybody that they've played. For you, mentally, for you, confidence-wise, to come in there and say, hey, dog, that shit ain't happening today. And to shut it down the way they did, I think bodes well for them forward in the sense of them understanding that Yeah, you're a superior type of team. And now you can go out and show that if you do your job, you do your assignments, this is the kind of results you can have. So, yeah, I think it helps them a ton, but I do think the confidence side helps them more than just the scheme side.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think the confidence thing is more so than the scheme. I think the scheme helps in the sense of, hey, you put these guys out there in positions. This is what you're going to have to see. I think that the guys you have on the other side of the ball for Ole Miss are more explosive and more talented. So it's not apples to apples type of thing. But, hey, we've seen this. We understand what they're trying to do, and we've stopped it. And so I think that the confidence thing is probably more of the advantage than anything.
It's a big prove it to yourself game because you haven't, like I said, haven't played a complete football game.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was probably one of your tougher tests in terms of what you had to get ready for when you have the bye week on the other side. You have Ole Miss coming into town, and you have a coach that wants to beat LSU because he's from Baton Rouge and he's never been a part of the LSU program. So obviously not the biggest fan of it. And Major Applewhite felt like he could make a statement.
You got to remember, like, those kids come to LSU because they do think they are, and they are best of the best, cream of the crop, right? You're at the top of the food chain. You are one of the best high school players and guys in the transfer portal out there. So none of them think that there's a scheme that they can't defend or they can't beat on the other side. Now this is a game you're supposed to dominate. Can you go out and dominate? And they did that. Mm-hmm. That's where I think it changes for them and going forward,
Yep,
and,
no
and
doubt.
how they were able to play stuff.
The way they flew around defensively and the way they were making tackles and not, I think that was encouraging too, especially because they got put in positions where they had to make the tackle, right? Like It wasn't like they were just running up the middle and trying, everybody, you had to go and cover guys, make tackles. Side note, I'm looking at the schedule. Nobody wanted to mention last week when I said, hey, I wouldn't be shocked if Arizona upset Utah. Nobody wanted to mention that.
That's true.
Nobody wanted to mention that I called that one.
What was the final in that game?
23-10 Arizona.
Oh, I should have put it in the parlay.
Should have.
That would have been a great
That would have
That's a
jumped,
sharp pick.
That would have jumped the parlay
I was
big
off
time.
I was off that big time, so you were all over that one.
Cam
It was just
Rising
one of those
play.
things. It was like I just felt like Cam Ryan. It was just they don't have the guys, and it was hurt.
And Utah's been like they always kind of
Arizona was supposed to be better early in the season. They kind of started off slow. You know what I mean?
And Utah just kind of gets that kind of nod of respect a little bit, and like, well, I'm not sure if they're
No
that
doubt.
good this year, but I do like their coach.
Damn, Jackson Churio hit a homer. Apo Taco.
Speaking of
He
baseball,
been doing it. He was balling yesterday
Yeah,
too.
2020.
from Zach on Twitter, who do you have meeting in the World Series and winning it, Major League Baseball?
For the sake of baseball,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
for the
Do
sake
it. Go ahead,
of
do it. Say it.
what I want to see, I want the Phillies to be in there and win it.
Nah, hell no. For the sake of baseball,
You're gonna do the Yankees?
yeah, I want to see the Twin Towers. I
Well,
wanna
how
see
about
the
this?
Yankees
I would love to
play
feel-
against Shohei, and I want to see Shohei come out the pen and throw against Judge
Yeah.
and Soto.
Okay.
That's what I want to see.
Fair enough.
I want to see that to bring baseball right back to center stage. That's
Fair
what I
enough.
want to see.
I just love the atmosphere in Philly.
I do
Me
too.
too.
I
I
don't think
don't
you could.
want it.
I don't think you. I want to see Philly go as long as they can take it, but that's the two I want to see.
I wouldn't mind seeing Philly and the Yankees in there. I just don't think the Yankees make it. I just don't.
He said what you want to see.
I want to see the Phillies.
Okay,
I want to see the Phillies.
I want to see Detroit.
Detroit. Be
I'm good.
that.
Cardiac Cats.
Yeah, that's not. They're not going to get a lot of. I think it'd be a great story, but you're not going to get the viewer. It's going to be like last year with the Diamondbacks. Speaking of, how about the Diamondbacks owner coming out? Did you see that?
What did he say?
He said, the biggest mistake that I made was giving Jordan Montgomery a 2-year, $45 million deal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The owner, not the GM, not the manager, big dog. Said I shouldn't have done that. Based off how he pitched, he had like a 6.9 or whatever it was. I don't know what his ERA was. Not good. He was
He
like,
pitched well last year.
yeah,
Or this year's just a stinker.
stinker.
And if you know him too, he's a good dude.
Good
so
dude.
It's weird for I don't understand why you would come out and say something like that. Like you feel like something would have had to have happened. I got a chance to play with him. I know I don't think that he's that kind of dude or would do something that would
Look,
make you
maybe
say
he's had a
something
tough year. Maybe next year he comes back and he's back to his old form.
Prove it
and he's-
deal.
You know, it's hard when you get traded and you sign a deal to another team and you've been on. You haven't been there. It's real. I mean, you saw what happened with Lindor when he first got to the Mets.
You saw what
He
happened
struggled.
with Mookie's first
Most-
year
yeah.
was a
Most of
down
these-
year-ish, if you will.
Most of these guys who sign these big deals, their first year's not as good. Now, Soto's first year with the Yankees was it was good, but it wasn't.
It wasn't this.
It wasn't this. It wasn't what he did, in San Diego or in
When
Washington.
he first
when he went
left
to San Diego, that's what it was.
It wasn't
That's
bad
what it was
at all.
Right? No, it wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't really good. It wasn't what you had seen
When
from
you
Soto.
moved- right.
When he left the Nationals and he went to San Diego, he'd still be in San Diego if he was doing
doubt.
what he was doing
No
right
doubt.
now. They would have never said, "Hey,
No
I
doubt.
think we can move on."
No
Now he
doubt.
got better, but it wasn't this.
Right.
I think a lot of guys, especially when it comes to baseball, if you're not talking the same things, kind of having the same mindset as some of the coaches and the people that you're around, it's hard to get comfortable in a new place and to kind of just hit the ground running and kind of doing what you've been accustomed to doing or what people have been accustomed to seeing you do.
So his first year in San Diego, he got hurt. I think he only played 52 games. Hit 236. His next year in San Diego, that's what it was, because this is his first year in New York. So first year in San Diego, first full year in San Diego, he hit 275. He had a good year at night, a 930 OPS, but hitting 275 is not what he was doing in Washington. And then he goes to New York and 288 with 41 homers.
Well, the field kind of sets up for him, huh?
Well, he hit 35 last year in San Diego.
Yeah.
Let's not forget, he's only 25.
That's what's crazy. It feels like I've been watching him for 10 years.
Well, you've been watching him for 6.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you've been watching him for closer to a decade than not.
Yeah.
I mean, he got to the big leagues at 19.
Is that good?
He hit 292 as a 19-year-old. 22 home runs. How did he not win Rookie of the Year?
Who did?
He did win it that year.
I don't know. Oh, Acuna. Wasn't even close, actually.
Did they win the World Series? No, it wasn't a rookie when they won the World Series. It was second year, third year.
All right.
Did Jay Johnson ever actually sleep? Man recruits like none other.
I do not believe
Noah
so.
Herron.
I do not believe he sleeps.
Yeah, he does. He's got a couch in that office. I think.
He may gotta pull out a little cot.
and a fridge full of orange juice. I think that's where he does all of his sleeping.
Special treat.
And hydrating. It's all there.
And when they're losing, he stands up outside the office and just stares at the moon.
Have they started their games yet? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I want to go. They're about to though. I want to go pop in there. Check him
Yeah,
out.
of course.
Check him out. But he does not sleep.
No. Ask M&M from the Fonz. If your wife has been feeling bad for a few days and goes to work and texts you, why didn't you tell me I look like shit? What's your response? And why is it sorry you feel and why is it sorry you feel that way, but you always look great to me?
Can you say that
your
again?
wife was what?
So his wife's been sick. She goes to work
sorry
for
to
the
hear
first
that.
time. Yeah, but obviously feels better. And text him when she gets to work. She texts Fonz, why don't you tell me I look like shit? And he's like, what's your response when you get that text? And why is it?
You say,
I'm sorry you feel that way, but you always look great to me.
Yes.
Yeah, you said.
You're the most beautiful thing I know.
Why did you tell me I look like shit? Well, I didn't think you looked. I thought you looked great.
I thought you looked great when you left here. Which I'm sure she probably did.
Yep.
So.
She probably looked great.
There was a thread on Twitter, and I don't know, I would imagine it was satirical, but it was, he said he sent his wife a TikTok on accident. It was obviously a very attractive woman in a dress, and she goes, huh? She goes, oh, I thought I've seen you in this dress, so double down the wrong way, where she's like, oh, buddy.
Oh, no. That's not good.
That's not my dress.
No.
I don't have that dress.
Make your stop to the flower shop.
Yeah.
That's just not good, right?
That's not good.
Take your phone and throw it in the ocean.
No points. No points.
No points.
No points
poise.
or poise.
Like, get comfy on that couch, too.
Oh.
Hope you got a guest room.
So where did you see that dress?
She might not let you in that thing, though. She
Yeah.
might literally say, you only got one spot, coach.
Yeah.
You may go sleep on the outside couch.
Brutal.
That's terrible.
That's tough.
All right, last one up here. Ask him them. Oh, no, I got a couple more.
Thank you.
Sorry. I forgot to put them in the doc already. Ask him them. This is an interesting question. I don't know if we can do it, but it's a nice thought from Fonz. Ask him them. Have y'all thought about starting up a Discord channel for a main hub for updates, announcements, and asking them questions where they can all go? Because we do it, kind of weekly. Could be one-stop shop. But I guess that's our YouTube channel is how we treat that.
Yeah, that's a good idea, I think. That'll be on Lloyd's plate.
Yeah, I don't know how Discord works. I'm still trying to wrap my hands around this YouTube.
I don't really know how that works either. Can someone explain that to me? You can explain it to me?
I think that's what like streamers use for like video games, like Discord. We don't have video games.
I'm not. Well, you do.
And yes,
I'm waiting for you to bring it in here.
I need to get that thing from Bryce.
It needs to come in on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Set the stage. It's bye week. This is the week to do it.
Oh, this is the week to gamble.
This is the week to do it.
This is the week to do it. Unless he's taking a vacation.
Who knows? He said he was going to come to the tailgate and he never hit me up.
Oh, yeah. I told him, he's like, where you at? I was like, I'll be roaming around. I said, just let me know. He said, okay, and I never got
That's
a
the same
text.
thing. And I was like, dude, we got
He asked me that yesterday, the day before, I mean. I texted him, and he responded to me the day of the tailgate, okay, and I got nothing.
I hope you had fun then. Something worked out.
Yeah, it worked
You
out.
and his buddy.
Yeah, it worked out. We got another one?
Lance James asked Mikey and Mitch best fast food place. We have been asked to rank fast food places before, given a list of options. This is your favorite fast food place. You can go anywhere.
My favorite fast food place, I can go anywhere. I mean, it pretty much is at this point because everything's changed, but honestly, it's two. That's it at the top for me. It's going to be Chipotle and, God, what's the name of it? Now I'm forgetting the name of it.
El Pollo Loco?
No. El Pollo Loco. Chipotle and, what's the other one that's like it? The Mediterranean one.
Albasha?
No.
Cava?
Oh, Cava?
Yeah.
Is that fast food?
Yeah, it is.
It is?
It
That's
is.
like premier.
I love Cava. I like Chipotle. I love Chick-fil-A, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an
Yeah.
easy one. But yeah, those are the two.
And I
for me.
don't go this place often, but like, boy, when I get it, it's like,
Popeyes.
yep.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. That's it. I don't go there often, but boy, when you get it, it's like.
I took a
God
trip there
damn.
last Saturday.
Did you get the? They have.
I don't remember what I got, but
the
it got me.
boneless.
If you
They
know
have
what I
like
mean.
they have like the chicken like nuggets, like
Nah, I
actual
didn't
like
get the chicken nuggets.
bro.
Whatever it was, it got
You
me.
gotta
though.
try them.
Oh,
They are fire. They got you.
Sent me.
You got.
packing.
I like it good. Listen, I do like smalls when you get when it's hot. I don't like it. I don't like it when it sits around. But like when you get it hot,
Man, when Smalls first came out, like it was.
fire.
I would
Biggie
say at least
Smalls,
like
baby.
maybe like once a week I would kind of take a trip there, and then it would literally just started getting me to where you just was like, this is. It's
Yeah.
not. It doesn't taste the same, but I think that's me. Period. Like if I went a month straight with eating burgers, not obviously every day, it was just like.
Yeah, like
It was like a
this-
regular.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start to not liking the taste of burgers, so I
Yeah.
think that's kind of more what it was than just Smalls. But like that's where I'm at with Smalls.
What about you?
Chipotle and Cabo.
I'm a big Jersey Mike's guy.
Wow.
I think
You
that's,
know-
I think that's the worst sub there is out there.
Yeah,
To be honest with
I
you.
don't love you,
I hate it.
but you know what?
I take Firehouse though.
I hammered Firehouse during baseball season.
Give me that Firehouse. I
Hey.
take Firehouse every day.
And
they got that honey ham
and they got
sandwich over
the
there?
big ass
Man,
one
give me
too.
that big long thing.
The lunch bid.
Give me that
The
big long
fucking
thing.
grilled chicken.
I carry that bitch out on my shoulder. Look, hey, thanks y'all. Y'all have a good one.
I get this thing delivered to the clubhouse. And I'm sweating by the time I'm done eating that thing. I'm like,
Yeah,
this.
that's I'm not huge on Jersey Mike's. So that's
I like a little Jersey.
I like.
I don't love
fresh.
the bread. I don't
I
love
like
the bread,
Jimmy
though.
John's too.
Depends on which one you get.
I like Jimmy John's too.
Yeah, Jimmy John's is fine.
Jimmy John's and Jersey Mike's to me like they just.
But
insane.
Chick-fil-A, like if you're talking about true fast food,
Right.
like go through the drive-through.
Can't do Subway. Subway literally. I
Subway.
I think I had
support
a
You know, it used to be fire. They don't have them here anymore. Quiznos.
Quiznos. used
Oh,
to
where
be
the host
good.
goes.
Yeah.
Quiz.
I don't
Quiznos.
see them things anywhere, but they used to be good.
I saw the last time I saw it was coming back from Vegas in the airport, and I got it before I got on the plane.
Wow.
Where Baton Rouge used to have.
Yeah, you used to have Quiznos right next to Walker.
Not Quiznos,
Right next.
but also another one that they used to have that I don't see
Where
anymore.
Modesto was, right?
Qdoba.
Oh, Qdoba was where Modesto was.
Yeah, Qdoba was. Hey, I like Qdoba too every now and then.
They have one on
Yeah, it's just not as
Right.
not as
They
prevalent.
got good queso at Qdoba.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. Yeah, they do.
Smacking.
They have Qdoba is right across from Whole Foods.
Yeah, that's what I'm
that
saying.
same
There's
shop.
only like the one. So I'm
Yeah.
not going like out of my way to get Qdoba.
I like Qdoba.
but
Little
I do
spice,
like
it's
it.
deep. It's deep
little
over
kick
there.
on the queso.
Yeah.
But Chipotle is a go-to for sure.
Hey, we.
See, I've
We've
never
been
done.
rocking.
That's a very much like.
But I only do the burrito bowl.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
of
only
course.
do bowl too.
So I won't do a bowl. I do a bowl there, but I do burritos at Chipotle.
Izzo's?
Izzo's and Qdoba.
But the bowl at Chipotle.
The bowl at Chipotle.
I haven't had Chipotle. I think I've had it once since I've lived here.
Favorite sandwich shop in Baton Rouge?
Favorite
Inga's.
sandwich. Oh yeah.
And you go Inga's over.
A&M?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. All day.
More options.
I actually honestly like the one that's on.
Right side?
Yeah, Brightside more than I
Mhm.
like the one on campus.
Campus.
too.
Me too.
Me too.
But I'm
Yeah,
still.
Angus be smacking. Hey, she got. You going there? Hey, listen.
You can order.
Listen. I'm gonna get that. I get the shrimp sandwich, Hey, she get that thing right for me too.
I get the steak sandwich. You can order 15 sandwiches. 10 minutes.
Skipping
Hey,
it.
I call her. Look. Hey, let me get the steaks. Let me get the shrimp sandwich. 10 minutes. I don't care. I don't care. Every time it's 10 minutes. It could be 12 o'clock. It could be 6 o'clock.
10 minutes.
It could be 10 o'clock. 10 minutes.
10
every
minutes.
time.
Hey,
How you know?
I got
How do you know?
15 sandwiches.
Been doing
Okay,
this
10
joint a long
minutes.
time.
Hey, she get
Great.
it right too.
She got it down.
Let me get a catering platter. 10 minutes.
I don't mind Canes either, by the way.
Me either. You got to be in the mood for Canes. Like, it feels like when
Canes and Subway are two things I did so much as a youngster that I'm just like, oh.
Yeah.
Like Canes.
You know Canes, you could go, no, not that we're going to do this, but like if you really were trying to say, hey, I'm going to eat
healthy.
try to be healthy. You know, you can get no batter.
Yeah, you can get them
And
done.
you can get it fried without the batter, basically.
That's on the secret menu or something?
Mhm.
That's how I know you ate
I've
too
done
much.
it before. And you
Is,
get
it, is it good?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you're really just doing it for, like you said, if you want to not feel like
You're not getting the batter on it.
right. So you got a little naked tender.
Because you're still putting it in the, they're still putting it in the
put a
grease,
little-
aren't they?
Yeah, they just drop it in the grease, but it's not the breading.
Yeah.
And you can also go, if you do want the breading, you can go extra crispy also.
I do like that. I do like extra crispy.
See, I'm Team Mart over Inga's, but that's just me.
Not me.
Just Michael Clayton got me hooked.
Michael Clayton?
I think they still have that picture up there. It's like best sub in Baton Rouge. And it's fire. Also another place, 10 minute.
Yeah, and look, it used to be $6.99.
Yeah, I know that. Well, you know,
Now they had to
it's
go,
tough,
they had to go
tough
up
in
on the
these
prices.
streets.
$8.99 now or $9.99, whatever.
Yeah, I
it
think
is.
it's $8.99 with a chip and a drink.
Hey, sneaky place though if you like sandwiches in Baton Rouge, or really anywhere, but I like the one in Baton Rouge the best. Whole Foods.
Oh,
You go in the Whole Foods, you
They
can
got
make
good
your
chicken tenders there.
great chicken tender, but you go and you go
walk right
in
into
line.
it. Yeah, they do.
You go in line and you can make whatever you want. They have you can get grilled chicken wrap, you can make whatever, super fresh and $9.99
Oh,
for the sandwich.
no matter what, they don't weigh it.
I don't weigh it. $9.99 because they make it. You don't make it. They make
yeah,
it.
yeah.
You add bacon, it gets a $10.99. You know, but you know, that's not bad.
That's not a bad deal. I
This
thought you were gonna
economy,
say,
it's not
I thought you
bad.
were gonna say Chiba Hut.
I mean, I do like Chiba Hut, but Chiba Hut's way more expensive than Whole
Yeah,
Foods.
a little $9.99 Whole Foods.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a little sneaky, you know. Good conversation about food.
There we
And now
go.
I'm hungry.
Yes.
Now we gotta get back to to the sports conversation.
All right, last one up.
Oh, we got another
This is the
question.
last question.
I'm glad you kept one more.
Yeah.
To get us back on track, I think.
I haven't read it yet, but I'm about to read it now. Ask him and him. Years back in the NFL, first and second round picks never saw the field as early as rookies are nowadays. So are the players just better and more prepared? Or has the NFL become easier to adapt to?
I think maybe a little bit of both, but I will edit that question a touch. Years back, first and second rounders not necessarily never saw the field, but first and second round quarterbacks very rarely saw the field as early as they're seeing it now. You know, you had to earn your way, similar to like freshmen. We talked about that, had that freshman conversation on Monday. These freshmen kind of take some time to get in there and learn the speed of the game, all that kind of stuff. Similar stuff. I think now it's money.
It's a whole lot of money.
Yep. And I
Whole
think
lot
there's
of money
no
involved in
patience.
it.
You listen. I think Aaron Rodgers had a good conversation about this. Tom Brady's had a really good conversation about why they're playing these guys early. Nobody wants to wait and have patience. It's a win now league, and so they just kind of throw these guys out there. And sometimes you ruin a guy by doing that.
Well, the thing is it's always been a win now league, but with the popularity and the revenue and everything that's going into football and how much more money compared to then these guys are making now, people don't like paying that much money and letting it sit without quote unquote working, right? So that the working part is you got to go out there. The problem of it is we want to make judgments on if you are or are not that good when we see it for the first time, and especially the quarterbacks. Like I always think about this, which is the craziest thing ever. In today's media scope and what goes on and how much sports are talked about, especially football, could you imagine Peyton Manning's rookie year going on right now?
No, right.
He ain't playing the next year.
Right.
I promise you he's sitting.
And Peyton's come out and said that was the best thing that could have happened. He needed to play. He needed to go through that, right? And Aaron Rodgers said the opposite. The best thing that happened to him was sitting for 3 years.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think the situation dictates, right? So, like, Peyton Manning had to play. They had nobody for him to learn behind. You're gonna learn. Look, we understand you got it up top. You're just gonna have to learn by trial and error. Aaron Rodgers goes to the Green Bay. He had one of the greatest quarterbacks to play behind, so he got to learn from a guy who was going to be in the Hall of Fame. Situation dictates it. I think you draft a quarterback like Jaden Daniels or you draft a quarterback like Caleb Williams, you don't have a veteran that you're drafting to play him behind, right? And that's what happens when you draft early in the draft.
Right.
You're drafting that early because you don't have a quarterback, more than likely. Right? Aaron Rodgers, the best thing that probably happened to him was him falling and being able to sit a little bit behind
Brett.
Brett.
And then you saw
he got Parkinson's. That's tough.
Yeah, but the way he rolled out his Parkinson's diagnosis was classic Brett. He's kind of a POS still. I mean, Parkinson's, I know it's terrible and tough, and
it's terrible.
I think you have like a 40% higher chance of getting Parkinson's if you play in the NFL. But
is that what they said?
He was at the deposition for the stealing the money from, and he was like, "Oh, and by the way, I have Parkinson's." And everybody was like, "Of course." Like, this is not the platform for this. You're in trouble, Brett. Parkinson's didn't make you steal that money. But feel bad for me.
I do feel bad for him.
Of course.
Lord, you need some Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, no,
you need some help.
Just think you could have done it. That's not what we're here.
You need some help.
We're not
bro.
here about your Parkinson's yet. You can let people know later, like a normal human being.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, and you saw what happened to Jordan Love. He got to sit behind Rodgers.
But to put a bow on that question, yes, I think that the money and the amount of money they're paying these guys and kind of what comes with the NFL, it's hey, you're getting drafted to play, and we're going to play you.
Yeah,
and
I
see
feel
what
like
happens.
A lot of it is coaches hoping to extend their careers also, whether it be a coach or GM that wants to play him early and get some promise to be like, look, let me keep working with him, extend me, and we can do this thing together. That's why I feel like.
Well, I say, people don't realize it too. Like, it doesn't matter if it's a first-round pick, last-round pick, whatever it is. People want to be the one that, when you get into front office jobs, people want to be the one to say, hey, he saw this talent. It is what it is when it comes to that. And if they can stamp their name to your success, however it goes, it means a lot more for them than it does than somebody that they draft that doesn't perform. And now it's, you go find a new job because sooner or later those jobs run dry.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
All right. We appreciate that. Ask Mikey and Mitch, brought to you by our friends at Mead Heavy Civil. If you look in the top left corner of our screen, beautiful logo.
Look at him rocks.
It would be called interactive?
Yeah.
Is that interactive logo with the nice dirt and rocks and sand all moving through the M of Mead Heavy Civil. And the reason why you have all of those sedimentary objects would be because Mead Heavy Civil specializes in land development infrastructure projects across public works, residential, industrial, and commercial industries. From coastal restoration and large-scale excavations to solar farms and oil and gas pipelines, Mead is the powerhouse moving Louisiana forward with complete start-to-finish construction expertise. Visit meadheavycivil.com or give Kiefer Sanders a call at 985-518-6774. Beautiful website.
Beautiful website.
Beautiful website. Good job.
Solar Farms. Buck leather gloves.
I'm looking through some of these lines for the weekend. Let's go through let's have a little trivia question. Right? I want y'all to guess some of these lines. Missouri A&M, without looking at them.
Okay.
Missouri at A&M.
The spread line.
Spread line.
Missouri
minus
is
5.5.
A&M's catching minus 6.5.
Missouri is A&M is favored by 2.
2.
Whoo!
Yeah, Missouri on the road at A&M favored by 2.
People are starting to fall. Or the odds makers are starting to fall off the Missouri train.
Syracuse at UNLV.
I never was on, but that's just me.
Who?
Syracuse?
Missouri?
No,
I know you
Missouri
aren't.
train.
I know you aren't.
Yeah. Syracuse at who?
UNLV.
This is the Kyle McCord team, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm wondering.
That is. Colin McCord at Syracuse versus the backup quarterback at
now
UNLV.
starter.
Now starter, but what I don't know, his name's complicated.
UNLV is catching 7.5 points.
2.5.
Missouri favored. UNLV favored by 6.5.
I don't know how much
wait.
you can. Wait, UNLV's favored?
You better say, wait, UNLV's favorite? That's what I was about to say. Wait.
Minus 6 or plus 6?
No, UNLV is favored by 6.5.
I mean, I know they just
Syracuse is
mollywopped.
going all the way to Las Vegas.
Yeah, but still, if there's one game, you're going to
UNLV is favored by 6.5.
What
That's
time's
why
that game?
8 p.m. on Friday.
Oh, wow, early.
And it's a
early.
night game. It's still
Okay. Here's another Friday night game. St. Thomas More Cougars versus Westgate Tigers.
There's a line. You ain't no line.
No.
There ain't no line on that.
Playing at home though, right?
I can find you a
Tigers
line.
favored by 10.5.
Hold on, I can find you a line if you actually want one.
Can you?
Yeah.
Find me a line. Look, he can find me a line. Playing at the Cougar Dome, baby. That's tough. Tough place to play. At St. Thomas More, you got the smoke. Come up the ramp.
Smoke.
The ramp. The most exciting 35 feet in high school football, baby.
What day is the game? Friday.
Friday.
They really have lines.
Oh yeah. It is.
Where's in Bovada or something?
No, this is on. I won't say it out loud.
Yeah,
but-
don't say it out loud.
We looking for STM?
St. Thomas More.
Let's see if I can find it. I'm on here somewhere.
Put
Oh,
some money on this thing.
Yeah, y'all should do a bet.
We should. I really want to go. I don't think I can. What did the warden say? I'm gonna be honest with you. I haven't even asked Allie. I think we have a dinner
I think we
Friday
got
night
something
though.
to do too. That's the thing.
I'm watching on my phone.
Yeah, she's not just gonna have to not be happy with me because I'm.
Westgate at St. Thomas More.
Here we go.
Minus 26.5. St. Thomas More.
Hell
Really?
Yeah.
Hell
No way.
I'm looking right at it. Over under 45.5.
Who
What's
said this?
what's Westgate's record?
Nah, you
2-1.
What's STM's record?
1-3.
And how is STM favored by?
26
STM's
and
1
a
and
half.
3. We're 1 and 3 right now.
26
Wow.
and a half
Tells me.
don't sound right.
26 and a half.
They have it 41-14.
Who did they play? I mean, who did SDM play for them to be favored by that?
Catholic High. They play some tough teams, but like
They have played. Is Westgate schedule? No, this is they played Karen Crow and won. Baton Rouge Catholic and lost. Acadiana lost, and Nevelin lost.
that's 3 tough teams. Damn, they can't beat Acadiana. That's tough.
Westgate has Lake Charles Prep win, Lafayette Christian win, Tillings Catholic L.
Turley stinks.
Just wait till Friday night, damn it.
Oh man, high school football is good. But anyway, that was. There's other lines on here, but I thought the UNLV one was kind of interesting too.
Absolutely. Just because I feel like that's they're putting a lot of stock in a guy that, for all the hubbub that was made of this guy leaving a 3-0 team, he put the backup in. They're like, oh, never mind.
Can I say something?
Steady as she goes.
And I'm not gonna bet this, but can I say something?
Sure.
Indiana's favored by 13.5 at Northwestern. This just feels like a Northwestern State game that every
Not
year.
Northwestern State.
I mean Northwestern. Every year Northwestern does something against a team that's not good. I'm not saying they're gonna win, but they just
Make it
play.
ugly.
They just look so. It looks like how the hell is Northwestern winning a game?
This is the one you're putting it on, huh?
It seems like this could be it, but I'm not betting it.
As high as I've been on Indiana, you're ready to pull the rug out. from
No. I'm just saying. I'm not saying they're gonna lose. I'm saying that just it may just be an ugly game.
Alex Bregman just tweeted 6 minutes ago, "Thank you, Houston."
Last game of his career, maybe, and in Houston.
In Houston.
In
This
Houston.
man's not done playing.
In
man.
Houston. I don't know, dude. It's look. People ask, should he sign back with Houston? Should he or shouldn't he? I don't think it's the question. I think what he should do is go to free agency. I think he's earned the right to put himself out there and see what other teams are going to offer.
Make no mistake about it. They've never really been huge on making big signings, like huge signings in free agency, or even at this point, like they're not the highest paying team. And at this point, if he's going to go back to Houston, he's going to be taking a market discount. So it's,
right.
Do you want to do that, or do you want to, like you said, go to the market, test free agency,
And if
see what
Houston wants to give you that money, give you that money.
That's but it's not. They're gonna he's gonna be taking a market discount. So now it's, will I be able to have a chance to go somewhere else where I see a window of opportunity to win, and obviously get somewhere towards the top of the market or top of what my market is money wise, or do I only have those offers that are basically the same as Houston's giving?
Here's a question:
That's what you
Does he go to New York? They don't have a third baseman, right? DJ's at the end of his career.
I mean, DJ hadn't really been
I
playing.
know, but
third either.
who's their starting third baseman this year?
It's possible.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's gonna test. He's gonna test the free agent waters. He's gonna see what the market is. He's gonna go back to Houston, and if he loves it and Houston wants to stay there, how much of a discount is he willing to take if he wants to go back?
Yep.
If Houston says, "Hey, we give you $100 million," and he's getting $200 million or $180 million in free agency, he's probably not going back there.
Yep.
But if they say, "Hey, we'll give you 150," and he's getting 170, 160, maybe he'll go back. You know, he's only 30.
Oswaldo Cabrera for the Yankees.
How'd he do?
Which is a big part because he's, without a doubt, cheaper.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Much cheaper. Money's not an issue over there.
242. 3 home runs, 11 RBIs.
So he didn't play much.
Let me say 11 RBIs. Yeah, like he didn't have 500 at bats.
132.
Yeah.
At home, 200.
It's going to be interesting to see where he goes. I mean, obviously he's going to be.
He had 300 at bats.
What?
He had 300 at bats right at it.
Cabrera?
Oswaldo.
And he only had 11 RBIs?
Listen, I mean, like, at the end of the day, they really only had 2, like, legit. Now, listen, you had Rizzo hurt. You had DJ was hurt a lot of the year. So they really only had in New York, like, 2 legit producers offensively, and it was the big 2. Yeah. And everybody else they kind of tried to figure out, and, it was no one else really stepped up. So you got to imagine that they're looking around, and he may get a call or two. What the actual offer will be, we don't know that yet.
Oh, yeah. 36 RBI, 8 home runs.
Okay, there you go.
21 walks.
There we go. That's more.
That sounds like 300 at bats.
Yeah. I was like, damn, 11.
Anybody can
I'm surprised he had 300 bats with 11 RBIs.
Yeah,
no way.
It's hard to do.
Yeah, 11 RBIs in 2 games. If you had a really good 2 games, 11 RBIs, 300 bats is bad. All right. How about the Mets? Middle of the year, the Mets thought everybody thought the Mets were they'd be dead. Weren't playing well. The pitcher said remember the beginning of the year, the closer, one of the relievers came out in the media and said that we're a terrible team. He wanted to get traded, and they released him the next day.
Yeah. We got lost in translation.
The whole deal, and like they were falling apart. Well, not so much.
Playoffs.
Now they're
hot too. Like they're doing the things that hot playoff teams do, where they find ways to win pretty much every game that they're in right now. And that's what you don't want to run into. That's the buzzsaw that baseball is, where it's anybody can like legit win in those situations.
No doubt. All right.
Mistake of the day.
Yep, mistake of the day brought to you by our friends at Doe's Eat Place. We got one, Lloyd?
I do. The University of Tennessee football team tractor trailer crashes in Arkansas. I don't know if you've seen this video, but it has just been released, and it's on YouTube, and I'm playing it now. But tough to see this go down when you're trying to travel, I'd imagine. Lots of stuff.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Did he fall asleep?
Yeah, I think that was it.
That's not good.
Oh, at least it didn't tip over.
Yeah. And from the thumbnail, I thought it might have, but it does not.
Wow,
so we're upright.
At least it didn't tip over.
I'll never forget this. I just so happened to not be – my car was not on this truck 1 year leaving spring training. You know how it goes. You leave spring training. There is a shipping truck that has everybody's car that wants to ship their car. It is going to get on the truck, whatever, blah, blah, blah. The shipping truck that left to go to AA that year in Birmingham wrecked every car on the trailer, caught on fire. Total loss. Every single car.
You didn't get it? Did it get on there?
I wasn't going there that year. So, no, it didn't happen. I wasn't a part of that. But, yeah, that happened. I was like, ooh-wee.
How does that work? I guess insurance?
Yes, 100% insurance. And best believe that driver's looking for a new job.
Yeah.
No, at that point, yeah.
Expensive cargo.
This isn't a mistake of the day. This is just interesting. You're talking about equipment trucks driving. Miami, their equipment truck, 5 hours ago, has traveled over 1,200 miles, and they're not even halfway to their conference game at Cal.
They're not happy about that. I heard McAfee talking. He's given the side punch a couple times already. That game day's going there, and he's not very happy about going there.
Wait, they're going to Cal?
Oh yeah, game days at Cal this year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean this week. So now I think there's only 4 places.
Oh, they're gonna hate him there.
I think now there's only 4 places that game day has not gone. But yeah, they're going to Cal.
They've never been to Cal?
Never. I don't remember the other 4, but yeah. Cal was one of the 5 remaining.
1,200 miles. Like, that is over. They're 2,500 miles
You know
away.
what part sucks? Is you got to come back.
Yeah.
It ain't just going. You got to actually make the same drive back. I
What
hope they
is-
play at home next week, right? They got to. Ain't no way they got him on the road 2 weeks in a row.
I mean, that's a sneaky line, too, going all the way over there.
Was it Miami?
Miami.
Yep.
Coming off that, whatever that game was.
Yeah. Going all the way to Cal.
Well, this is what happens. This is their new conference realignment. We said it when it happened. They're like, none of these teams are geographically in the same spot. And it's like,
And now you got the Pac-12 coming back up. They're saying, hey, we're gonna figure this thing out. Gonzaga's there now. They don't have a football team, but they're there. They're in the Pac-12. You have Utah State. Is it Utah State? They're in the Pac-12. They just added a couple other teams. Who else did they add in the Pac-12?
Six-pack.
Huh?
Some people turned it down.
Yeah, but Gonzaga just finalized their deal. Is Boise State? Boise State?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either. That'd be a no-brainer, right? Like, you got to get Boise State in the Pac-12.
I think they tried to get Tulane also.
Yeah, they turned it down. That didn't make sense. That running back for Boise State's a stud. He almost got 1,000 yards rushing already.
Have you seen him run too, by the way? Have you seen video? Like
Yeah.
It ain't just wide open holes, hit your head on the
no.
goalpost. It's
Nobody can
my
tackle
boy,
me.
Yeah, you can't tackle him right now.
No.
It's impressive.
No.
It is impressive.
All right, Curtain Call is brought to you by our friends at Perkins McKenzie. Lloyd, what you got?
Let's find it. Oh, I just had it. Oh, Curtain Call 2. I just had the tweet. Well, Jay Mitch said this earlier. I don't know if it was on the show or off the show, but there's a report that Devontae Adams may be going to the Jets with a Hassan Reddick twist. So they'll be getting rid of Hassan Reddick to bring in Devontae Adams.
you
Not
go.
confirmed, but real quick, I
Yeah,
just
rumor.
thought that would be a great, and I didn't know if Jared was going to do the one that he showed me earlier.
Yeah,
If
that's
not.
where I'm headed. I'm
Yeah,
trying
all
to find it right now.
All right, we'll do it. We'll do a joint one then, because this is awesome.
All right, if you can't find, I'll do mine before you.
I got it.
You got it? Oh, you
Yeah.
got
Oh,
it.
the joint. Go ahead. Just tell
Yeah.
It's the joint one.
Oh yeah, me and Jay Mitch were looking at this before, and this is this is like fucking supervillain shit. When you have Jerry Jones coming in during practice.
I was gonna do the other one, so yeah, good do that.
Yeah, Jerry Jones coming in during practice in his helicopter, which I mean, great skills from the pilot. He's not where he's supposed to be
Look at
landing.
Dak acting like he's about to throw a football around. Run it back a little bit. You can see Dak. It's good. Throw the football around.
Why would he do this?
Yeah.
Hey, catch it. Throw it right in the.
Hey, y'all move the drill 30 yards down this way.
Why
We're
would
gonna land
they?
the
Why
plane.
would he need to do that?
I don't know. This is just. I mean, this is
Jerry, that's what I'm telling you, supervillain.
It's a
Like
lot.
I own the team. I can do whatever I want.
It would be great if he just didn't land. If he just hovered around the.
We don't have a landing pad. Oh, just land on the field. I know the boys are down there.
If he didn't land, he just hover. If he just hovered around the field,
just
to
watch
watch
practice
just to
from
watch
up
him.
top. I got the all 44.
Actually, just stay up top. We need to create more wind. We need to create more distractions. You gotta keep them locked in. What a move.
Jerry is something else.
He
Don't
is
circumcise the
something
mosquito.
else. I'm gonna go with the kid just keeps cooking right now. For anybody who doesn't know, I know we've sat here and we said, hey, Jaden's had a really good month in the league, and he has. But when you look at it a little bit deeper, you go a little bit deeper, you dig a little bit deeper, you can see the Commanders have put together more scoring drives this season, 23, than Jaden Daniels has incomplete passes. 19.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
That's incredible.
If you
That
want
is
to call it a
incredible.
hot start, I think that's an understatement. Curtin called it, Jaden, keep doing your thing, brother.
Yeah, Curtin called it Cliff
Keep
Kingsbury.
up.
Curtin
Keep up.
calls it that marriage between him and Cliff because that is working out. Very
Sneaky, too,
nice.
people don't remember, like, Washington went to Arizona, where Cliff used to be the head coach, with the quarterback that he had at the time. They brought in as the number one. That was he a rookie of the year that year? Kyler Murray.
Maybe.
Doesn't matter. He had a good rookie season, right? And they went there and smacked them and then left and got on the plane. Said, thank y'all for allowing us to do what we do.
Miss me yet?
May not be able to head coach, but he get damn sure call plays. Just give him that at this point, right?
Yeah, because it used to be kind of a people didn't know why he kept failing forward and getting jobs. He had Mahomes,
because
Texas Tech,
right.
And then you look at him, you're like,
Yeah, because
I don't know how much he cares about this. Then he gets a USC job where he's the offensive coordinator, and it's like, no, actually, you're the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals. And he's
Right.
like, okay, I'll take that one too.
Right.
And now he's back calling plays where I think he should be.
That's his honey hole.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's
a
good
great
at.
marriage because Jaden can make anybody pretty much look good, but it also feels like it's a good match for
No doubt.
these two guys.
Yep.
No doubt. My curtain call, I mentioned it at the beginning of the show. The Detroit Tigers make it to the ALDS. They get through the wild card round, win the first 2 games against the Houston Astros. Obviously, it's a best of 3 series, so there's no game 3. They've moved on. They don't have a guy on their team that is over 28 years old. A.J. Hinch is their manager. A.J. Hinch used to be the manager for the Astros when they won a World Series, and then all that other stuff happened. So he's kind of rebuilt his career, I guess, in Detroit. Kind of rebuilding Detroit, kind of similar to how he rebuilt Houston, right? Bringing in guys, developing guys, teaching them how to win. And Detroit was 10 games out of under 500 in August. Not just 10 games back, 10 games under 500 in the middle of August. They end up going on this crazy winning streak, end up making it to the postseason, and now they're in the ALDS. And this was A.J. Hinch after the game.
Listen, when we started this series, everybody said we weren't playoff tested. We just passed the biggest test of the year to date, but there's more coming, okay? Never know. Get it going.
Hey.
Listen, hold on. Listen, I'm not sure who, but somebody let the Tigers get high.
So they got all those masks and all the goggles,
Listen,
and
when we
nobody put
started
them
this series-
except for that one guy. So they got them because you don't want to get champagne in your eyes, and nobody had them on. Great scene there. Obviously, when I was in Detroit, the year before I got there, and Kinsler was there in spring training, Kinsler gave everybody those goggles on their thing, and he said, "We're gonna wear these in October when we make it to the postseason." They didn't make it that year, and so their whole thing was every time they would hit like a double or something, they would do like the goggles. And so we tried to do that at the beginning of my first year. My first double, I always drove in a run the night thing. I did the goggles. You could see the video, and then that didn't work. It didn't catch on. Didn't catch on.
Still have the moment.
It didn't catch on. Had the moment. We didn't make it, but it was cool to see them go through that. And congratulations to those guys. So that's my curtain call. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy Major League Baseball. They got something to watch every day.
55 straight days of sport.
Starting tomorrow.
Yep.
55 straight days of football starting tomorrow.
Thank you, October.
But now,
Thank you, October.
on these the downtimes, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, you got baseball until the month of
Boy, look at this
October
eye
is
black.
over with. Who's that?
The eye black.
That's interesting. Never seen that before.
Eye black and a dome.
It's more like an eye block than it is eye
Mm-hmm.
black.
It's more like looks like a cartoon
Look at
character.
this.
Oh.
They won't show it. That's all good.
We appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Thanks. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you don't like watching us. You like listening to us whenever you get your pods. We'll be back live in studio Friday from 1 to 2-ish. Talking a lot of gambling. Obviously, LSU doesn't play. We're going to be talking college football, talking about matchups, talking about who we want to see, what games we're going to get, and we're going to get back on the winning ways in the mic'd up parlay. I apologize for last week. I will not let that happen again. I will make sure I put in a good bet, and I don't let my head get in the way. I promise. I love y'all. Enjoy your Wednesday.
Peace.
Peace.